Hey, good afternoon. This is Nikki Burnett, Taste Life Nutrition. I'm a functional nutritionist and I practice strategic evidence-based consulting. I wanted to talk today about some nutrition facts and some things that some of us know, some of us don't know, some of us think we know, and there are partial truths and partial falses all within there. But I came across an article that is basically the name of it, and I'll post it down below, is 20 nutrition facts that should be common sense but aren't, which is true. And really most of the stuff that he says here I totally agree with. There's a lot of misinformation, but there's some good information out there as well. And so I wanted to go through his list. His name is Chris Gunners. Chris Gunners. I'll post his article down below because I think it's a good one. But there are, I think, some things that I would like to expand on when it comes to this article. It's kind of long. I think that there are 20 nutrition facts. So that could be more than I'm able to get through today. So I may cut this into 2 or 3 parts depending on how long it takes to get through this. So let's just start now and see how much we can get through and go from there. So his number one nutrition fact that we should all know is artificial trans fats are not suitable for human consumption. My words are not working for me. Absolutely the truth. And they're in so many things. They're, things like Crisco. That is a trans fat. It is nasty stuff. The way that it's processed with solvents and high heat, and it just is a nasty, inflammatory, artery clogging, hardening, nasty goop that is absolutely deadly. And one of his comments that I thought was really cute was, you have to wonder what was going through the head of the person who actually thought of putting this stuff in Foodland, selling it to humans. It is baffling, really. It is baffling. Why is it that so much of our food is so tragically toxic? I don't get it. It makes me seriously sad. But these things need to change. I went on a little bit of a rant the other day when I was talking about baby food or baby formula, and how it's truly nasty stuff, and we're trying to bring our children up healthy on this formula that is creating just inflammation and illness. So same with the food. These food companies, they say they care. Marketing is trash. Okay, so let's know what's going in our food. So look at your oils. Avoid the canola oil. Avoid the things like vegetable oils. Sounds great, right? Vegetable oil sounds healthy and nice. No. Vegetable oil is a trans fat. It's inflammatory, hydrogenated and partially hydrogenated. Nasty stuff. The fake butters, all of those things. I can't figure out why they're still on the market and why we still buy them. But let's get out there and understand that these are bad, inflammatory, nasty foods. Okay, if I talk like that, then I'm not going to get through this very quickly. So I'm going to try to move through this. The number 2 is you don't need to eat every 2 to 3 hours. You know what? I think I mostly agree with that. There's so much research out, and I've talked about this a couple of times now. There's so much research now out on fasting and actually eating less. Now, I'm not talking severe calorie restriction, but it's amazing how little food we actually need to live on in a day. And what we've come to believe, we get to that point to where we're just full and uncomfortable and we don't need that much food. But there are some people that I do believe need to eat several times a day. I have a client who's a dancer. She's also a yoga instructor. She literally needs to eat several times throughout the day in order to keep going. And she's that tall, lean body type. And I think that that's great. What we need to learn is to understand our own bodies, understand ourselves, what we need, eat when we're hungry, don't eat when we're not hungry, and don't overeat. Eat to the point to where you're comfortable, because what's going to happen, and we all hear this, but it's absolutely true. You should try it. Just pay attention to it, because I still can overeat, but I really try to make a point of eating to where I'm comfortable. Then within 20 minutes, I am full. And literally for me, maybe not for everybody, but for me, I continue to become more full over the next hour and stay comfortably full for a few hours. I'm one of those people, and I know this about myself, that I really only need to eat a couple of times a day, and I'm comfortable with that. And if I am hungry and if I find myself needing to eat, then I go eat. So, it's really all about eating the right food, eating the food that's good for you and that makes you, it's about what makes you feel good, makes your body feel good, not your brain. It's not about sugars and, lots of simple, carbohydrates and that kind of thing. But it's about truly feeding your body nutrient-dense foods, okay? Number 3, the mainstream media should never be trusted for nutrition information. Bingo. Oh my gosh, how much trash is out there about the foods that we eat that's good food. Yogurt is a health food. I don't believe yogurt is a health food. I don't believe fake foods and processed foods and, superfoods. Gosh, that word is so overused. And the diets, there's one diet that works for everybody. Besides the fact that I hate the word diet, it's a lifestyle. It's who you become. What you eat is really who you become. And, just the media throwing out there and increasing the confusion. There's so much confusion. We go online and we don't know who to believe or where to believe or who to go to or what to do. And so we might make things better for ourselves. We might make things much worse. So I certainly would not trust the media. That's why I go to data. That's why I study. That's why I go to conferences and seminars and continuing education constantly. So I know the latest research, the latest data, so I can give that to my clients. I think that that's what's important. And that's what I enjoy. Not everybody enjoys that, which is, why I have a job, because this is what I like. I like health. I like the body. I like the science. I like the data. It's all very cool to me. Some people just need, hey, I need you to tell me what to do. And I'm going to tell you why, because I think everybody needs to know why. But, we can't all be an expert in everything. It's too difficult. I'm not. Definitely not. So, okay, number 4, meat does not rot in your colon. So, I think that that's mostly true, but let's talk about this. So, his view on this comment is the human body is well equipped to digest and absorb all the important nutrients found in meat. We are meat eaters. Some of us require more meat. Some of us require less meat. I'm a genotype and I've talked about this, but I'm a genotype where I require less fat and less meat. And so that's how I eat and that's how I feed my body. But if we don't eat meat, then there are certain nutrients that we will be lacking. We absolutely will be lacking. I just did a video on this a couple of days ago. So if you're curious about it, you can look up, I think it was vegan, vegetarian lifestyle, something like that. So it's just a few days ago. So look that up if you have questions, if you want to dig a little bit deeper into that. But what I want to really get into is we have certain health situations where we may have some pancreatic insufficiencies, which doesn't allow us to produce the enzymes from our pancreas necessary to break down fats, break down proteins, and so we have a hard time with that. We may not break down proteins as well as we should naturally. In an ideal environment, yes, we have all of the necessary ingredients, for lack of a better word, to break down the meat and all of the foods that we take in. But there are times when you can see this, literally see this, if you're on the toilet, if you're not breaking down foods, because it will come out in the toilet. If you're not breaking down fat, it will float in the toilet. So kind of gross, but it is what it is. So be aware of that. Know that if you're not breaking down your foods, if you're not feeling good, if you're gassy all the time, gas is natural, too much gas is not. If you're bloated and uncomfortable or in pain, things can sit in there and sit in there too long. If you're constipated, stuff is sitting in there way too long, and it creates an amazingly toxic environment, and can really create some inflammation, bog the body, and the body processes down. So, I get what he's saying, but we can have certain health situations where stuff sits there and needs to be moved through, and get help with that, because you don't want that to continue. Okay, number 5, eggs are among the healthiest foods you can eat. I agree with that again to an extent. Eggs are amazingly healthy. The beautiful nutrients are in the yolk. So many people are afraid of the yolk because that's where the cholesterol is. Dietary cholesterol has very little effect on serum cholesterol levels. So if you have high cholesterol, don't worry about eating an egg. Eating the egg yolk. Egg is healthy. Where this can be a problem, eggs are also a very high allergen, high sensitivity food. Lots of people eat eggs all the time. They come to me, we talk for a little bit. Okay, let's cut out eggs for a while, do a little bit of an elimination diet. Let's see what happens. We come back, we start to bring in eggs, and their body just totally reacts to it. Happens all the time. So, yes, eggs are amazing for the people that have the ability to digest them. Sometimes people have sensitivities or allergies to the white. Sometimes sensitivities or allergies to the yolk. Sometimes the allergy or sensitivity can be because it's raw or because it's cooked. So when I do sensitivity testing on my clients, the lab that I use looks at both cooked and raw forms of the food, because what happens when we cook food, it changes the protein structure. So the body's going to react to it differently. So important to know the difference and why. All right, moving on to number 6. Sugary drinks are the most fattening aspect of the modern diet. I would say, I don't even know what his answer is, but I would say absolutely, yes, sugary drinks are a big problem. Besides being high in sugar, they're high in high fructose corn syrup, which affects the liver. The liver doesn't know really how to react to high fructose corn syrup, so it doesn't know how to shut off. So it does create fat and holds on to fat and creates a big problem, can create fatty liver, non-alcoholic fatty liver syndrome. And that's a big problem. I talked a little bit about that yesterday. We're seeing that so much in our country now due to the high sugar content, whether it's sugar, whether it's pastas and breads and, so much processed foods. We're creating inflammation, and we're slowing our liver down and creating inflammation. What happens when we see labs with numbers out of range? What's it telling us? So we see elevated liver enzymes on labs. The cells are dying. So when cells die, they send out these enzymes, and so the enzymes elevate, and that's what you're seeing on a lab. This isn't a good thing. So be aware of it. And if you see it, if somebody doesn't know how to help you with it, find somebody to help you with it. Okay. Scary stuff. Let's see. Low fat does not equal healthy. True. Holy smokes, how true is that? So something that I said a little while ago is I am a lower fat genotype. I eat full fat foods. I eat less of the full fat foods, but I eat full fat foods. I eat coconut milk. I eat coconut oil. I'll do full fat butter, pastured butter, of course, raw if I can get it. These things are healthy, good foods, and they're full fat. We need fat for brain function, for cellular integrity, for hormone production. I might have said this yesterday, but I'm going to say it again, is when so fat and cholesterol are necessary for production of hormones. When we're looking at a metabolic pathway when it comes to the production of our steroid hormones, what we'll see is at the top, not the very top, but just before the hormone production, you'll see cholesterol, then you'll see it go down to pregnenolone, And then pregnenolone is the master hormone for all of the other steroid hormones. So your DHEA, testosterone, estrogens, progesterones, on and on and on. Okay, so these are absolutely necessary in our diet. But a genotype like mine, we don't deal with fat and cholesterol as well as many others do. So we want to limit the intake, but we never ever want to go low fat. Now, another thing with low fat foods is that when they remove the fat, they're adding sugar. So low fat yogurt, what are they doing? They're taking the flavor out. Fat is flavorful. Fat is yummy. It's great stuff if it's a healthy sourced fat. But if they take the fat out, they have to put flavor in or nobody's going to buy it. So what are they going to do? They're going to put in sugar. Always, always read the ingredients, know what you're eating, and educate yourself. Okay? Let's see. Fruit juice is not that different from sugary soft drinks. Again, bingo, it's all sugar. It's all sugar. So fruit juice, even fresh pressed. Okay, so, and I'm not bashing fresh pressed. I love fresh pressed juice. But keep in mind that if you are drinking a fresh pressed or out of a carton or a jar, this juice, there's no fiber to help slow down the absorption of the sugar. So it's a sugar boost. Now, I do think that fresh pressed is very different from your conventional orange juices out of a carton, out of a plastic bottle. I think those are really damaging. They're pasteurized, which means they've been high heat cooked. There's nothing left in them except sugar, no nutrients, no vitamins. Anything that's been pasteurized, flash pasteurized, it's just all going to be sugar. So if your blood sugar is high, if you're diabetic, just stay away from juices. It's really just not worth it for your health. It's really not. Okay, feeding your gut bugs is critical. Absolutely, very, very, very important. We are actually just little vessels for bugs, is really all we are. On our body, in our body, around our body, our brain, our personality is controlled very much by our gut microbiome. Our immune system is 70% is our gut microbiome. Our emotions, all of these things. If we have any kind of dysbiosis, which is bacterial overgrowth, or yeast overgrowth, or parasite, any of these things can affect our gut microbiome and can create just all kinds of stuff: mental, emotional disorders, anxiety, fatigue, lowered immune system, chronic inflammation, on and on and on, and even getting into pain and bloating and discomfort and all of these typical things that you would see as GI issues. But it can move outside of GI issues, joint pain, like I said, depression. So much of this can be due to our microbiome if it's not healthy, which can be affected by our genetics as well as our environment, our food, our stress, our exercise. All of these things affect our gut microbiome. And so making sure that that's healthy is important. I do an extremely high amount of probiotics every day, as well as prebiotics. And I think it's really important, and I think it's really helpful in just keeping me healthy. I haven't had the flu in years, really. I've had cold here and there. I haven't been sick at all this year, except I came back from Mexico with a pretty bad stomach bug, but I think that's typical. But keeping your gut in check is really, really important. But knowing your genetics. Knowing your genetics is key to understanding so much of what's going on with your body, both good and bad. Okay, we're on number 10. I think I might, let's see, I'm going to stop at number 10, and then I'll do 11 through 20 tomorrow. Okay, so cholesterol is not the enemy. Cholesterol is not the enemy. So true. I worry much more about blood pressure than I do cholesterol. So let's talk about this. And this will be a bit repetitive for some, but cholesterol, so if you what we're told is HDL is good and LDL is bad. That we've heard that for I don't know how many years now. This is very simplistic and just incorrect as far as I'm concerned. LDL can be good and bad. HDL can be good and bad. So, why? So, all LDL and HDL are protein, are cholesterol carriers. They're proteins that carry cholesterols. So, LDL carries cholesterol to the tissue. We have to have cholesterol in the tissue, okay? From the liver to the tissue. Again, I'll repeat, cellular integrity, brain function, cholesterol production, how many other bile production, digestion. We have to have cholesterol. It's a must. Keep this in mind. Very, very, very important. The lower your LDL, the higher your risk of stroke. The lower your LDL, the higher your risk of stroke. You don't want to bottom out your LDL. You need nice, healthy, good LDLs. Now, HDL, what it does is it's a protein that takes the cholesterol from the tissue to the liver to either be recycled or eliminated or excreted through bile, wherever it needs to go. Both are important, and you do want more HDL because you want to pull out those cholesterols that are no longer necessary or that need to be recycled. Now, the key to understanding LDL and HDL is that it's not about just LDL and HDL. It's about the size, the particle size of the cholesterol. So what we want is to have what they call big, buoyant particles. So we want big, fluffy cholesterol particles floating around doing their job. The LDL is big and buoyant, bringing cholesterol to the tissues. The HDL, big and buoyant, taking cholesterol away from the tissue. What can happen, though, is under circumstances of stress, inflammation, chronic disease, bad diet, overexercise, underexercise, all of these things that we know create issue, too much sugar, that's the key. That is, I can't believe I almost didn't say that, but too much sugar is the key to cholesterol. What will happen is under these circumstances, these big fluffy particles will end up shrinking down, and they'll get really, really small, and that's when they become atherogenic and they oxidize. So they can get into the tissues, and that's when they create lots of problems. So sugar, too much sugar, can take those big, nice, beautiful particles, shrink them up, and create atherogenic LDLs and HDLs. Both have the potential of being atherogenic. Both have the potential of being healthy. So when I run a lab on my clients, I'm looking at particle size and understanding what is going on. Let's look deeper at what's going on with your health. Let's not just look at this overview, okay? Okay, so I'm going to stop there. Tomorrow we'll start with number 11, and we'll go through this some more. If you have questions, of course, leave them below. Let me know if there's anything that I can do to help you. I would love for you to go to my website, check things out there. If you want to share this, that would be awesome as well. I would appreciate it. So I hope everybody has a wonderful day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Bye.